When Teresa and I were working on the Indie Film Festival, the first one that we ever did, we wanted to do some things that were a little bit different and unique to Eureka Springs. We're an artist colony, so it was pretty obvious to us all of a sudden that we should have the Indie statue interpreted every year by a different artist in their own unique way. They would be individually made, they would be one of a kind, and hopefully would become kind of a collectible item for filmmakers. Last year, for our first award, we selected Jim Nelson, who is a woodworker. He does carvings and does acrylic painting on them, and asked him to take our icon for the Indie Statue Award and do his own interpretation to it. So he did individually carved and painted wood statues that we affixed the winner's seals to. And this year we were looking for another artist to do a different interpretation. And it just so happened that I was at a gallery showing, and the Robison family was there, and Ethan Robison, who was a young, extremely creative and talented young man, was telling me about his new 3D printer. And we talked about it a little bit, and then I walked away, talked to some artists, and saw some art. And something kept niggling at me in the back of my mind, and I went back to Ethan and I said, "Ethan, I have a project for you if you're interested. It involves your 3D printer." And he said, "What's that?" And his eyes got real big, and I said, "How would you like to be the artist of the year and design our Indie statuettes for this year?" And eyes got bigger, and he immediately said, "Yes, I'd love that," to the chagrin, I think, of his parents.
I know Ethan, I know his parents well, and I've been to a few of Ethan's art shows, photography and origami, and just gotten to interact with him a little bit here and there, and he's just really a fun, energizing young man. Actually, when Sandy approached me with the idea of Ethan doing the trophies this year, I was completely on board from the get-go. I thought it was a brilliant idea.
We're extremely proud to have Ethan as the artist this year. He was our Young Filmmaker Gold Award winner last year, and he's an incredibly talented young man. He's an old creative spirit and a young body, and he unicycles, he does origami, he does video, he juggles, he does everything in the world, and on top of it, he's a darn nice kid.
My name is Ethan Robison. I'm 13 years old. I love to juggle and do a lot of circus arts, and I love to make things, especially origami and photography. And when I saw 3D printers, I found out I could make pretty much anything just by designing it on the computer, so I just had to get one. And so I bought my own 3D printer bot. Before printing the trophies, I did a lot of test prints, like this, that I downloaded off of a website called Thingiverse. 3D printers can print with a lot of different materials. My printer prints with plastic called PLA. It's a corn-based plastic that is biodegradable. My process for creating a 3D print is I will create a 3D model in a program called Google SketchUp. There's plenty more, but that's the one I like to use. Then I'll import my model into a program called Repetier, where you slice the model using a slicer, which creates the pattern and the layers that it builds it with. And so you feed the filament into the printer, and it will just print it out in layers. To print a trophy, it takes approximately 10 hours, and then you have to paint it and make the base, which takes another 2 hours, so in total about 12 hours.
Don't forget about us, Ethan.